Welcome everyone to Tech Tuesday here on Northwest Digital News and SMB Nation. Seated left to right on your screen, Harry Brelsford, Kevin Hunter, and Kyle Torgerson here to entertain you guys. We have a lot of great stuff on the show here today. We're going to start off with having bigger brains, or getbiggerbrains.com. Who doesn't want to get a bigger brain, Harry?
Exactly. Not a tough sell.
Not a tough sell. I actually, got an opportunity to look this organization up and a little bit of the stuff that they do. And, what's interesting is back in the day when all the things like Microsoft Excel and all the new programs that they were coming up with and launching, I love that companies are still doing this kind of stuff. Talk about getbiggerbrains.com.
Yeah. So let me give you the sort of the backstory, then I'll tell you what their paradigm is. And there we go. Their humor is the paradigm. I just saw it fly by on the screen. We'll talk about that. But the backstory is Chip Reeves who's the founder of Bigger Brains, was the CEO of the world's largest computer franchise. And that's called Computer Troubleshooters, based out of Australia. And they grew and grew and grew. I mean, I remember, with SMB Nation, we had SMB Nation members who were franchise owners from Egypt would be an example. I mean, it was a worldwide organization. And then they got acquired by an even bigger fish. You're going to love the name, but it's real. It's called Merry Maids.
Right.
And Merry Maids is a larger organization, apparently with house cleaning franchises or something. But anyway, they get acquired, and as often is the case, the founders and the executives of the acquiree move on after a reasonable amount of time, hopefully with a few shekels in their pocket. And so Chip did that, and first-class guy. So then he went on to start Bigger Brains. And so Bigger Brains at its core is computer training videos. And again, the paradigm I'd like to share right there on the screen is the humor. You just saw a guy with a monitor on his head, right, flipping cards. And that comes from the Windows XP deadline. So in 2014, you may well remember that you had to migrate off of Windows XP or the world was going to end, just like Y2K.
Right. All the doom and gloom was coming.
Yeah. And so that's what that funny video that's going to cycle back in a moment is. And, it's effective right there. The character guy that just flew by is a comedian. And that's actually true, right? There's the video thing. But the comedian guy, Chip gets some of his actors from a local comedy club where he lives in South Carolina. So there's really, we can honestly say there's truth to humor. And, I don't know, gentlemen, but, when it comes to learning technology, a couple of things. I always feel I only use about 10, maybe 20% of the program that is in front of me, like in Excel. We've talked about that, Excel and others. It's just such an easy sell to get more training to use what you already own, right? That makes perfect sense. And then, as you well know, a lot of end users, which would be more of your audience, and that's why this is a relevant conversation, because the small business owner, people listening to your show, can go up to getbiggerbrains.com and sign up for these e-learning courses. The humor has a way of de-stressing the technology training. People kind of get nervous, right? Oh my goodness, I might break something. Right. And the humor goes a long way towards learnability, retention. It's one of the unique value propositions I've seen in the training world to invoke the use of humor. And then again, to have it come from one of our community members. And boy, howdy, I got to tell you, look, there's a logo sheet going on the background of his clients. Chip has started with nothing, has really hung in there over the last 5 years and really built a successful company. I mean, these are some real logos with United and Airbus and Mitsubishi and so on. So God bless them. Gentlemen, it's very hard to be successful twice in technology.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's it's a very short list.
A couple things that I wanted to mention because you talk about the training that's available for businesses, for individuals that are watching this show today. They also have individual packages. In fact, it's coming up on the screen there right now. $15 a month for access to dozens of training courses, including Microsoft Office, Office 365, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, QuickBooks, presentation skills, project management, and much more. And kind of an interesting thing to me, Harry, is, you know, being a longtime producer of video and understanding, you know, what people's attention spans are, an appropriate length of video. I look down at the bottom of that home sheet, and Kyle, if you take us down there, they show some of the stats on courses that they have available there. These consist of an average of 8-minute videos. They have 2,300 videos that cover 90+ courses. And, you know, depending upon what background a person comes from, subtitles are available in 3 different languages. These guys have figured out this training space quite well, I think.
Yeah, they have. And, you know, it's conversations we've had both on this show and when you were both my guest on the SMB Nation side concerning analytics. But, you know, that 8-minute video, they've nailed it, right? They've nailed the paradigm.
And for anybody who's wondering out there, that's a good place to be pointing at. Yeah.
And I didn't realize he was up to 2,300 videos and 90 courses. I mean, this is a real investment on his behalf. Now, I had the good fortune to work with Chip a few years ago in my wheelhouse, which would be technology certifications. And the aforementioned CompTIA, we broadcast live from CompTIA in early August from the show. And it's a trade association, get to know it. And they have a certification division well known for A+, S+, Security Plus, if you want to work in DoD. I had the good fortune to my skill set closely aligned with Network Plus. And so if you kind of poke around on the site, you'll see that Chip and I teamed up on a video learning course to become Network Plus certified from CompTIA on your own. You know, just pay for the course and go through the modules and answer some sample questions that we created, and you're ready to go. And that's a lot of fun. I like that work. And I guess, you know, what aside from that, what I would offer is training is still relevant. You know, there's this whole, well, I'll just go search YouTube, or I'll just go do this, or I'll go do that. And guys, there's still a need for professional training. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think Bigger Brains has validated that.
Absolutely. You wanted to mention briefly about speaking about training, some of the training cowboys and how those ranks are thinning out rapidly.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to a couple of community members that I see often because of my travel schedule. We find ourselves in the same region at the same time. So Sharon Fry, F-R-Y, Sharon Fry, has carved out and continues to, is a sole proprietor. She is making a living as a trainer. Mm-hmm. And in her world, a trainer is called an MCT. That's a Microsoft certified trainer. And she's one of these people that will do a class in Oklahoma City this week and then go back to her hometown of Las Vegas and do a class at New Horizons next week. You've seen these people, the traveling marauders, the Cowboys. Unfortunately, in the last, 10 years, and I could maybe even stretch and say 15, but let's say the last 10 years, this world has compressed. Mm-hmm. The independent trainers, and it's a heartbreaker because these are good people who have the wherewithal to hit the road. They like to travel. You know, they're going to have stakes up in Omaha, Nebraska in 3 weeks when she's got a gig. It's a nice life. She does a very good job. We have used her at SMB Nation on some tours. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was Mark Ingram, who comes to mind. And Mark Ingram, he's a rock and roller.
IT evangelist, rock and roll singer, corporate voiceover guy, says on his profile.
Yeah, he you could say he marches to the beat of a different drummer if we're going to stick to the rock and roll thing, but he's very skilled in more technical topics than Sharon. So Sharon would be more akin to bigger brains in terms of Office, QuickBooks, applications. And then Mark is more skilled in the world of infrastructure and security. You need both, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they can work side by side. And Mark, again, just to shout out that he's making it happen. He is getting his MBA online while traveling every week, which is a whole nother story, but he's using Western Governors University and in his hotel room at night doing his MBA work, which is very convenient. And then the dirty little secret with Mark is with all these cities, he literally goes to concerts, right? So for him, it's great, right? I'm in Chicago, there's a concert, and you can see it up on Facebook. So he's carved out a nice life. But gentlemen, I guess the point is I just, the disappearing cowboy out on the ranch, I just want to give these guys a salute for carrying the flag.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about Saturday, October 27th. Microsoft Redmond has some training going on up there and an event going on up there. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So this one actually snuck up on me, and I want to apologize to the audience that I haven't mentioned it in prior weeks or the show we did on conferences to hit, right, this fall. Right. I just, snuck up on me. I've been a little busy. Fortunately, I'm in town. I went last year, and I'm going to go this year. And this, so first of all, it's free. Okay, and if you didn't hear that, go back to number 1. So, yeah, what do you have to lose? Exactly. It's sponsor driven, and it has to be. If it's going to be a free ticket, somebody's got to pay for the catering, right? It's a very simple business model. So, yes, they have a trade show hall. It's sponsor driven, but the content is academic, and the content is technical. And it's from MVPs, most valuable professionals. It's a Microsoft title that you earn in the engineering side. And I think there's something for everybody here. For example, SharePoint courses can be appreciated by the office administrator in a small business. Office 365 itself, we're talking Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and much more. I am personally interested, and I've been very open and honest on this show about it, with Power BI in the analytics area. So they have a couple lectures on Power BI that I'm going to hit.
What time are those on Saturday, Harry? The Power BI?
So the Power BI lectures are the first 2 lectures, so 9:30 a.m. and 10:45 a.m., then you go to lunch. Gotcha. So the first half of my day will be Power BI. Then it's lunch. Then the afternoon is not as interesting to me. Again, in technology, we all have our niches. We all have our skills. But I'm going to stay. I might go for a walk out in the nice fall leaves or something, get my hour a day. But when I get back, my friend, the prize drawing is like none other I have seen at a free conference in my life. Last year, I won a full-on weather station that I've mounted on a 10-foot pole outside with the rain. It measures the rain and the wind, and then it communicates back to your computer, and then you can output it to weatherunderground.com as one of those weather stations.
Wow.
And I mean, dudes, it was a real prize. Okay. So that's a hallmark for that. Stay to the end. It almost felt like everybody won a prize. I was a little bit drunk on my success, if you will. So it felt like that, but it's a very generous offering of prizes, right? Few people leave empty-handed. What are you going to do, man? It's a Saturday in the Pacific Northwest. Come on up.
Well, I'm very intrigued by Power BI and essentially analytics on steroids, as we've talked about before. And I'm a big analytics and statistics guy. I might just show up there on Saturday, even if it is a little bit of a drive. I think it might come up.
Yeah, do, and bring the camera up. I'm gonna take my camera on the SMB Nation side. I never met a content opportunity I didn't like, and but gentlemen, there's some real truth to that. So let's talk just for a second about that. The audience is not my traditional SMB Nation audience. My audience are consultants and managed services providers and resellers, computer guys and gals. Mm-hmm. Okay. This audience are going to be people that work for T-Mobile at their headquarters in Bellevue. Mm-hmm. They work for Alaska Airlines just south of the airport. They may be at the new Weyerhaeuser office in downtown Seattle in Pioneer Square. You may be aware Weyerhaeuser closed Federal Way.
Yes.
And moved north. It could be Frank Russell. So it could be people who work for Frank Russell. You get the point.
Yeah.
That these are real IT pros who are doing this as their job. And it scales all the way down to our respective audiences. For listeners out there that are a mid-sized company, heck, even a small company, the prices are worth it alone.
It sounds like it. Well, you have a Small Business Saturday coming up yourself on SMB Nation. Share us some details on that.
Yeah. So this, I didn't want to miss the opportunity. We're a month out. And this is I believe they're in their 11th or 12th year. You could look up Small Business Saturday on Wikipedia. And it was started and underwritten and still underwritten by American Express. So let's put it in context. You have Black Friday, you have Small Business Saturday, you have Cyber Monday, and I think Sunday, isn't it called Giving Sunday? I think there's something on Sunday in that Thanksgiving weekend, right? And Small Business Saturday has just not caught, the reason I'm involved in proselytizing it is that it just hasn't caught the mind share of Black Friday or Cyber Monday, right? And
yes.
So we're trying to help that out. And so, folks, what you can do is you can Google Small Business Saturday. You're going to go to an American Express site, and you're going to fill out some very basic information, and it automagically creates all of your banners and web banners and a email that you can send to your customers and have them stop by either in my case, the computer consulting practice. If the shoe fits, you should probably unlock the door of your office and have hot cider, right? I mean, have customers come by. But it's really designed for Main Street. And what I encourage my people to do would be my people need to meet your people. Okay, so my people need to go to the listenership you have of business owners and business people and stop by the Main Street stationery store, stop by the Main Street pharmacy and shake hands and say, thank you for participating in Small Business Saturday, or maybe help them sign up. It takes 5 minutes. You provide very limited information. And again, then it creates, gentlemen, I believe I sent to you, but it creates this whole marketing kit, right, of logos and printouts and a sample email. Here's an example of it right here. This is a web banner, and we're going to get that up on smbnation.com by end of week. So that's it, and I've done some coverage on this in the past. We had popcorn and coffee at a computer store on Bainbridge Island one Saturday, did a little bit of noise making. But, gentlemen, you'd be amazed at how few people have never heard of Small Business Saturday. I'm telling you, it's.
I know it. I know.
This is the first time I heard it.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. And then my hope and desire would be that at some point American Express can step away from being the underwriter of this, and maybe it's put in a .org or a foundation, right? Because it lends itself, if you're going to grow this to a worldwide thing, I guess I feel you're going to have to kind of throw it over into a not-for-profit or something, because American Express is very straightforward with their sponsorship. You know why? It's very simple. They want you to swipe the card on Saturday.
That's exactly right. Swipe the card on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll talk about this more as we get closer, but we're doing a couple of things that we're going to be able to announce late this week. I can't announce it yet, but we have some momentum on the SMB Nation side that if you participate is a SMB Nation partner or MSP. The prize, you got to go through some hoops, but if you can demonstrate your participation, you're entered into a $1,000 American Express card drawing. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to step it up this year to the next level. So I'll most certainly keep you posted.
All right, very nice. So for anybody who has joined us here on the broadcast and you missed some of the earlier content, we've placed it all in the live stream there, so you can find the links for getbiggerbrains.com and the training opportunities there. We also put links for the Training Cowboys. Sharon Fry and Mark Ingram are listed in the stream. And then, of course, the Saturday, October 27th, that's coming up at Microsoft Redmond, and Small Business Saturday, November 24th. Thanks, Harry, for joining us here on Northwest Digital News to talk about Tech Tuesday, as always. And thanks to everybody who joined us on Twitch TV, on Patreon, on YouTube, and the 2 Facebook pages here for Northwest Digital News.